Hello and welcome to the SandNStars Podcast. This is a podcast where we discuss inspiring and audacious ideas that are impacting the world or will impact the world. We'll talk to people who are doing incredible, fearless, and seemingly crazy things, what their motivations are, what the key lessons they have learned in their journey to the seemingly unknown, uncharted waters. I'm really excited. This is episode 1, and I thought I would begin by just doing a basic introduction of what this podcast is, why SandNStars, who I am as a host of the podcast. So let's go. I am Rhoda Kingori, and I love learning. I'm incessantly curious and very open-minded. There are so many things that happen in this world, but we all live in little bubbles where when you discover one thing, your mind is really blown. But there are people who have been living in that world for years on end. So this podcast basically was something that I was thinking about doing for a period of time, but it was never really the right time. I was also procrastinating. It was never that important. But this year I decided to just take the leap, progress over perfection. And today I sat down and I got this idea for the name SandNStars and the theme around my podcast last week. So I say everything happens when it should happen, at the right time, in the right moment, within the right situation. So I was just sitting and I thought, you know what? If I don't start, I never will. So I sat down, thank you Canva, and created the logo. I already had the name, and basically the spirit, the energy, the vibrations, the theme that I want the podcast to carry. I want people to come in and learn something and just be mind blown, be shook. Be challenged, and just be mind blown, where every episode is a experience where you learn something and learn from people who are doing amazing things. And hopefully this inspires you to be dreamers, to dare, to explore, to not stick with the business as usual mentality, and to try new things and be fearless about it. Because when people do these things, this is how we get crazy inventions, from the Facebooks of the world to even Thomas Edison. I mean, imagine a world where people just use candles and paraffin and what have you, and then this guy tells you that there's this thing that you can't see and it's kind of dangerous and will fuel all your electricity. So instead of going through the process of lighting your candles every night, all you need to do is switch on a switch. It's now it seems normal because we were born into an age where these things are just, it's common sense, you'd assume. But imagine when he was coming up with these ideas, and that's what I want to engage with. I'm also really, really excited to get people onto the show who are doing outrageous things, things that really, they don't seem quite normal. But that's how we learn. That's how we grow, by stretching and learning new things. So even as you listen to this introduction, if you know anybody who is doing something really interesting in their field, it does not matter which area it is. Agribusiness, technology, personal development, whatever it is, I am here to listen and to share this experience with you. So where does the name SandNStars come from? So I was doing this Bible plan and came across, and I had done it before, but I'd never really thought. But I am going through a practice in regards to energy and just paying attention to the little things and being open. And the SandNStars story popped out to me. So the SandNStars basically comes from Genesis 22:17. And it's where God is talking to Abraham. At this point, you're still Abram. And he tells you, I will greatly bless you, and I will greatly multiply your seed as the stars of the heavens and the sand which is on the seashore. and your seeds shall possess the gate of their enemies. But the thing that stuck with me is the stars of the heavens and the sand which is on the seashore. So at this time, guys, the context is Abraham has no children. And Sarah, his wife, Sarai, is barren. This guy is about 100. His wife is about 80. I mean, they've literally written off. They're never gonna have kids. Like he's never gonna have kids with his wife. That's just something that's never gonna happen. And here comes an angel with a message, telling him that this is what your God says. You'll have descendants that will be as many as the stars in the sky and the sand on the seashore, which is unlimited. But at that moment, you can imagine, I mean, he even laughed because it's so ridiculous, it's so audacious that it makes no sense whatsoever. But still, this is the promise that God is giving to him. So when I thought about it, I realized how sometimes I learn something and I'm so amazed, and I'm thinking, wow. I mean, how crazy is that? And you learn stories of people who have done ridiculously outrageous things, and you wonder, I mean, when they heard the voice, when they felt the intuition, when they felt the drive, when they got this idea, which must have seemed incredibly insane at that time, and they still took the fearless, insane leap to try and do what it is that they have felt that they've been called to do. And as a result, it has an amazing impact on the world. I mean, mind you, there are some who it does not have a great impact on the world, right? E.g. nuclear weapons. But, I mean, really think about it. It's the whole theory, the whole idea behind getting an incredibly crazy idea, an incredibly crazy calling, theory that you cannot open your mouth to tell people about when you first hear it, because it makes absolutely no sense. Yet there are those who pay attention, and even if they feel a bout of fear, they still go ahead and do it. And as a result, amazing thing happens. So that's why I'm really excited about this podcast, because I want to get people on who are doing amazing things. And even if the things have not been done yet, what is the thought, the idea they have behind it? Because by sharing ideas and contributing, that creates a whole environment of collaboration. You never know. One of my viewers can be listening and have an idea that can add value to that idea, and next thing you know, you have a whole movement of a chain reaction of ideas that creates amazing products, amazing technology, amazing innovations that really impact the world. So that is what the SandNStars podcast is all about. I am incredibly excited. If you can hear from my voice, shivering, excited. And I shall begin my hunt for the first person who I will interview. I have a few ideas, but I'm really excited to get this started and take you on this journey with me. So welcome to the SandNStars podcast, and I hope that you are inspired to dare to dream.